culture in the shop. I mean, these guys were not getting along. They weren't working together. And it just wasn't a good environment for anybody or me. It's a lot of hostility. That's my job. The way we have it now, everybody works together. Anybody needs help, they can grab one of their coworkers and they'll jump in and help them.
All right. So, were there any lessons that you learned from the franchise that like the franchise didn't tell you treat everybody like like your wives and your daughters? I'm Brad Herlock, your host of the Garage Grit podcast, and welcome to another episode, on the Origin and Impact series. And we're here with Renton from Gold River Automotive out in California, and we're going to be chatting about his background, where he's come from, and the lessons he's learned along the way, and the impact he's having with his team. But also, as you know, who knows where that conversation is going to go? We're just going to chat about whatever's going on in the industry. And so, Renton, thank you for joining us today. All right. So you're welcome. You're welcome. So I know that you were a little under the weather earlier in the week. You're feeling better. You've got your throat lozenges ready and whatnot. Okay. All right. I hear before we came on live, I heard a lot of the background noise and whatnot going on. You're a rather busy shop. Why don't you tell us a little bit what you have there in Gold River?
So, shop size, is that what you're?
Yeah, let's start there.
Okay. So we have 17 bays in 3 different buildings. I have 10 mechanics working for me. Each mechanic mostly has 2 bays to themselves, so they have a down vehicle. They can still operate and operate out of their other bay. We started off here in 2017 with just the first 12, but the business was empty for about 2 years. So when me and 2 guys came here, it was just us operating on the front 6. And then we slowly expanded and hiring and overgrew the first 12. I had to lease a 3rd building and we put 5 more lifts in there and moved our alignment rack out there. And now we're using 17 bays.
Okay. All right. Are you ready for the 18th and 19th? Are you going to rent a 4th building?
There's no room right now and I am tapped out on what I can do.
Okay. You're at capacity. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Are you actually still out there as one of the techs doing the work?
As a overflow tech. So
okay,
this job needs to get done. Then I will jump in and do it. That's with my brother. So me and my brother are partners here. And we both jump in whenever we go.
Well, that's interesting. Was it your dad's business before you?
Yeah. So our dad got us into this. He was one of the original smog techs in California. He had multiple shops over the years, gas stations with 3-bay shops. My first job was at his Shell station, 3-bay shop. And my job there was doing pumping gas. We were a full service gas station. So doing tire repairs, pumping gas and cleaning windshields and vacuuming cars and checking fluids.
All right. Nice. Nice. You said first smog test. I'm sorry. First smog
One
tech.
of the first inspection shops and technicians in California.
All right. So talk to me a little bit about that. For those who aren't, knee deep in California rules and whatnot, what's going on there? There's no smog detection going on over here in Pennsylvania.
Okay. I'm sure every shop owner has seen vehicles with the California emission label under the hood, California or federal. The vehicles out here get a biannual smog inspection. We have two different inspections we do right now. There's one for 99 and older vehicles, which are driven on a dyno, and we're using a 5-gas analyzer, checking for carbon monoxide, nitrous oxide, hydrocarbons, and then it's also checking for O2. But the main three main gases are analyzed. That is slowly being phased out in California, and we are using a newer system, which is essentially just a functional visual check, making sure all monitors are completed, making sure all the emission components are in place, and making sure there's no tampers, no modified software. and make sure there's no smoke from the tailpipe or smoke from the engine. So it's a more abbreviated inspection that is also done biannually.
Well, so now I'm wondering what the difference is between a basic, what I would refer to out here as an emissions test and the smog test that you have. Because they still put it up on a dyno. Yeah, I would think that they are very similar then. Okay, they just call it something different. Why do they? I wonder why they call it the smog test as opposed to just emissions.
Because in the 50s, when LA was covered in smog, that's where the term came from. Yeah, as emission control started to come into place to remove the smog, it was a smog test. So that name.
So the visual inspection seems a lot easier to run, a lot less painful.
Absolutely. It's a 15 to 20-minute inspection.
Okay, but biannual. Okay, because it's I think in Delaware, I think it's like every other year, or I don't even know how often it is in Delaware, but in Pennsylvania it's annual, and it also changes.
It's every year. It's every 2 years.
Oh, it is every year. It's not twice a year. It's every 2 years. Okay.
All right. It's every 2 years. Yeah.
All right. So no, you're fine. I misunderstood when you said biannual. All right. So got it. So every 2 years doesn't sound too bad. I always think of California as being a very regulated state, but that sounds a lot less regulation. What's going on with state inspections out there?
Well, every year on the 99 and older vehicles, the standards for passing get tighter and tighter.
Okay.
We do have a retirement program in effect here. So California wants those old cars off the road. They're making it harder and harder to keep them alive and certifying through the smog program to maintain registration. So,
okay. So they do tighten the screws.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
As you guys are aware of engine monitors, right? You check that on emission tests. Starting this month, we were up till this month, we were allowed to have the EVAP emission monitor incomplete and still pass a smog inspection. Starting October 1st, that one now is required to be completed also. So every single self-test completed, no permanent codes, no pending codes, and all components in place.
Right. Okay. So what does that conversation look like for you when it's a fail? And it's an older car, it's a fail. Like, did you have that? How well did you prep the customer before you actually even did the inspection? What does that conversation look like?
Most people are going to be aware if their car is going to fail a smog test. Either the car's not running right, check engine lights on. The monitor incomplete isn't too big of a deal. We just tell them you need to go drive your car somewhere and bring it back. So,
okay.
It's not a really big battle. And there's a lot of options. We have repair assistance through the state. If the car is not worth repairing, there's also they're eligible for retirement, where the state will pay them to get rid of their car.
Okay. So I'm just trying to gauge the conversations that you end up having with those customers. You're saying they usually know ahead of time, so that it's not an adversarial conversation or
not really.
Okay. All right. Good.
Yeah. What there would be only an issue if it has like a P0420 code and it's a Ford F-150 Cat that's $2,000. That's not anybody wants to hear when they're just trying to get their car registered. So, but those are, I think we all encounter that across country. Nobody wants that information, that conversation.
Right. So what does your front desk look like? What is the front of the shop as far as your people and your process? You've got 17 bays. You've got your relatively high volume shop, right? So you've, who's handling those customers as they come in the door?
Believe it or not, it's me and my brother.
Okay. All right. Nice.
We take them in. We ring them out. We solve the jobs. We do the diagnostics if need be.
Okay.
We're fully hands-on owner. Yeah.
All right. And so have you done any kind of training, or has it just kind of been all on the job training as far as the best way to
I've done
increase your
several of those.
ARO and those types of things. What's that?
Yeah. Yeah. I've done a lot of that over the years. Being that we worked for a franchise previously and we owned a couple franchises, there was a lot of involved in doing that. Not as interested in doing that too much anymore. So I'm doing this for a really long time. The one thing that my dad always instilled in us was, we're going to operate a shop like we're a small town shop, and treat everybody like we want our wives and moms and sisters and daughters to be treated. So that's been our mantra going forward, and that's how we operate.
Nice. I like it. Okay. All right. And so what year, like you said, you own a bunch of franchises. Was that with your dad, or was that just you and your brother, or was that just you?
That was our dad's shops that we worked for him. So
Okay.
we were his employees.
Got it.
So,
And why did you guys get out of the franchise, or why and when did you get out of the franchise game?
fully out of the franchise in 2019. So we had 2 locations before we opened here. My brother operated one and I operated the other one. We sold the one he was at. I came here, started this. He helped close out the old one, the final one. And then we brought our remaining employees over here, and ultimately a lot of the customers followed us.
Nice. Nice.
So,
That's a good setup. All right. So, were there any lessons that you learned from the franchise that you're like the franchise didn't tell you treat everybody like like your wives and your daughters, but
no.
was there,
Just how to handle telephone calls, how to convert a quote into maybe bringing somebody in to the shop for an inspection.
do you do quotes over the phone?
We do.
Okay.
That's slightly changed with technology. I will do a quote over the phone, but I will get all the customer's information and I will email them an actual quote instead of guessing. I am with regards to specific things like how much are struts, how much are brakes, how much for spark plugs. I can't give a quote for a diagnostic repair. And we do get those phone calls. How much is it cost to fix my overheating vehicle? We can't do a quote on that. We need the vehicle to be here to handle.
Of course.
So.
Of course. Okay. 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 I was just thinking about the overheating vehicle. They drive it up the mountain and let it sit there for the winter. I don't know. I'm like, let it be dormant for a little bit. Maybe it'll fix itself. But otherwise, you got to bring it in so we can take a look at it. All right. So 2019, you and your brother opened up this one. Your dad is also a part of this operation?
We opened this location in 2017.
Okay.
Our dad did come over as kind of support. And he passed away 4 years ago. So it's been just us since then.
All right. My condolences.
But he gave us a good foundation.
Nice.
We would not be where we're at without him. Yeah.
Nice. I like it. I like that too. So what's the, I don't know, you said you're kind of at capacity, but, I mean, you're just going to keep plugging along, or is there a plan for 10 years from now, or?
I mean, we always have a 5 and 10 and 15-year plan, but we just gotta, we modify as we go. I'm in an amazing neighborhood, and I have a great community that supports us. And I do feel very, very blessed where we're at. So, being in a franchise model where it almost felt like working for the mob, where they were just there every month with their hand out, wanting their 10%. And they wanted their piece. And we weren't getting anything in return for that large chunk we were paying out every month. And
what about the marketing? They were handling the marketing, right?
Well,
maybe
they were advertising entry, like basic oil change prices to get people in the door. And it became where I'm at, they would do a nationwide marketing plan that might work great in the Midwest, but it did not work in California.
Well, I'm not a big fan of, I'm not a big fan of just like saying, hey, here's here's the oil change price. Like that's I suppose it's got its time and place, but the reality is you're looking for maintenance-minded customers, not let me get the cheapest possible oil change I can possibly get and then go somewhere else.
And that's what
So
it
I
was.
get that.
It was $19.99 oil changes.
Yeah,
It
below
was,
cost.
and as cars have changed, I can't tell you how many cars. Well, the percentage that require full synthetic oil is way higher than the ones that are using conventional. So it just didn't work anymore. And it was truly unsustainable. So we got out
All right,
the
so
minute we could. We're here.
but there had been some upsides to the franchise model.
The only upside that I could deem was we did get very good discounts on certain things on part pricing.
Volume
But even
pricing
that
for
went away.
parts.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The franchise that we worked for was at one point in manufacturing. They were manufacturing parts and supplying them at a great discount. That went away and they left us on our own and said, "You're on your own now, but we still want our 10%. And just wasn't
Was it actually
a
10%,
great
or was that
model.
just a number that we're throwing out?
No, it was 10%. They wanted 10% right off the top. And the building we were in was rented through them also. And the rent was a fixed rate. However, they had a rent override. If we did great, the rent then became 7% of sales. So most months they were getting 17% of everything we're doing.
Okay. And they did a markup on the utilities. They did a markup on the phones. They did a markup on. So, did you have any autonomy as far as like who you use for payroll services or anything like that?
We've always done that. Yeah, absolutely. We've done that always in house though. So
Okay. All right. I was just wondering if they had their hands elsewhere other than those two. If there was a
the only
whole.
thing they would assist in would be like group insurance plans. You're under this big umbrella. You can get better rates for workers, better rates for just garage keepers. Health insurance wasn't a part of that though. We were still
So
for that.
what does that look like? So, I mean, it's, I guess what I'm asking is that's a sticking point, right? There's a lot of shops out there that don't offer health benefits to their employees. And, my own perspective, and this might sound like a little bit like politics, but I think it's odd that businesses actually provide this service. I kind of feel like, what does the boss know about my insurance needs? But whatever. Let's just go with this is what's done in our society right now, is that the employee is looking for a benefits package with their compensation. And so right from the get-go, did you go out and get something for your employees, or was that a growing pain?
Oh no, there was that period when there was the affordable healthcare options were covered California, and some of my guys were on their own, but those have gone way up. So we have provided a insurance plan for our guys now. So they're able to, some are not, but some are. And it was a necessary thing to provide it. Just this. I mean, my guys work really hard, and I can't just be having them not being insured if something happens to them. If they're sick, I need them to go to the doctor and get treatment. So,
Do you know whether or not the ones that have opted out of your program or the program that you're providing, do they have their own? They're on their spouse's plan?
Spouse. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Okay. And do you pay for 100% of it, or do you actually make the employee pay for part of it, or what's your matrix?
They pay part of it. We split it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. And have you watched it climb? Are the rates in California as different from other spots throughout the country for health? I know that they are for property, right?
Yeah, I'm not. I can't speak to that.
You don't know if they're high or low?
It's going up.
It's going up every year. Okay.
I've been notified it's going up.
And that's the annual letter, right? So, I mean,
Yes. Yeah. I just got
my
it.
understanding of insurance companies across the board, their attitude is, hey, if we can increase our revenue from a smaller client base, then that's a good thing, right? That's kind of the plan. And in some ways we do that in the repair shop space, right? Like if you can actually increase your ARO but actually serve fewer customers, you're doing more with less. The insurance model is a little less at least with the ARO, you're trying to actually solve the customer's ongoing maintenance issues. You're trying to actually stay ahead of what's going on for them, right? With the insurance world,
Yeah.
they're just giving you the increase for no reason at all, and that's yeah, that's often the case. But they know, they've done the math. They know that so many people will leave, but they'll still have a higher revenue stream and a lower risk base, right? A lower risk because they have fewer people that are insured. So that's the common theme. That's not just health, right? That's property. That's everything. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Insurance industry it's rough. I don't think anybody likes them.
no, not a big fan. And yeah, with the Affordable Health Care Act, we had a bunch of it. We were providing insurance for our employees, and then the whole, what was it? If you won't have to change your plan, you won't have to change your doctor if you don't want to. All that went out the window for us because the average age of our employees was under the age of 26. And so immediately they just went back to mommy and daddy's plan. And so all of a sudden, and then we didn't have enough of the plan that we were on. You needed to have a certain percentage of employees who were on the plan for you to qualify for that plan. Right. So we no longer had a high enough percentage. So we got kicked off. So, now, you started post ACA. ACA was what? That was 2008.
Well,
That was 2000.
we
So you actually were already in. You didn't actually have that experience because you actually started in 2017 or 2018 when you were starting to bring people on.
here
Yeah. Well,
at this location, yes. We
right,
provided
right.
insurance.
Through the franchise. You weren't the
Yeah.
ones managing it there. All right. So, it sounds like there's really not a lot of value in having a franchise. Just stress, just headaches,
I don't
just
think
paying
anymore.
them in.
You know, from what I can see, most customers at this point are getting tired of supporting big businesses and they want to take care of their neighbors also.
Right.
And I think the franchise models, everybody views this as a large corporation that they're supporting and they don't want to do that.
Yeah. I think that's reasonable. I think you're right about that. And so what do you do in the community to kind of show the community that you're not just repairing cars, not just maintaining cars? Like you said that you have a great local community that supports you. Are you doing anything to support them?
Yeah. So my daughter's no longer going there. She's now in high school, but she went to the local school. We supported and did fundraising there. So my brother lives in this neighborhood. He shops at the grocery stores. He's with our customers. They see him around. I'm not in this neighborhood. I'm a little further out, but they know where we're at. If anybody needs us, we are at their house. We're jump starting their cars. We're driving them home. We're picking their cars up. We're doing all those things to assist them in any way possible.
Okay. Interesting. Are you doing like a loaner car setup, or you're doing all the transport when they drop off a car?
Believe it or not, we had done that in the past, but insurance has made that almost impossible. So we're no longer doing a loaner car. We couldn't do it anymore. It wasn't an option for us.
Okay. That's really interesting. And so the rate of the insurance was just too high. Did you think about trying to like
shuttle vehicle? We had a shuttle vehicle and it went up to our little shuttle vehicle was $600 a month to insure to have my employees be able to drive it.
Right.
One small car.
Wow.
So
interesting. Huh.
It that's isn't making sense.
Right. So it just makes more sense for you and your brother to drive everybody as they need to be driven.
We'll drive. Well, and we are insured to test drive customers' cars, and we often have to. So we'll shuttle them in their own vehicles.
Okay. All right.
And
Huh.
when it's possible, we're not driving a car with grinding brakes. We're not driving a
No, of course
freaking
not.
car. It's
Right.
yeah.
No, the job's done. You're like 99% positive that it's working fine. Come pick up your car, but actually what you're going to do is you're going to test drive them home.
No, when they're dropping the vehicle off, if they need a ride home, we'll take them home in their own vehicle. If theirs isn't drivable, we'll take them in our personal
Got
cars.
it. Got it. I understand now. Okay. All right. Huh. And what shop software are you using these days?
We're using TechMetric
Okay. How long have you been using TechMetric? Since the beginning?
for about 3 years. So we went through a couple different ones. We tried Napa Tracks, did not like that. Used our Rider for a couple of years. They weren't keeping up with the technology that's available to all of us. So we jumped ship from them and went to TechMetric, and it's been really good.
Yeah. What's working
And
for you
customers
with it?
able to see the digital video inspections are amazing.
Right.
That is the
Right.
biggest game changer, I think, in this industry, where people can actually see their air filter before we replace it. Why are they recommending it? Here's your cracked brake pad. Here's your leaking hose.
Yes.
Here's your blown out shock absorber.
How often are you doing videos with the DVIs or just pictures? Which one are you doing? A little bit of both? Are you doing just pictures? Or
We're doing videos only when we need to describe movement. Here's the part failing. Here's the coolant squirting out. But the photos are used daily.
Okay.
On every vehicle.
Yeah. Sure. And I agree. I think it is a game changer. How are you? How are you doing the rankings? Like doing the whole, this is what's good. This is what needs to be changed. This is a maintenance issue. What is it? Red, yellow, green. How are you leveraging that presentation?
It is. It's exactly red, yellow, green. So green, good. Yellow, pending issues, stuff we're going to keep an eye on. And red is, we should deal with this now.
Right. And you're in control of whether or not an issue is yellow versus red or green. Like that's, and so, and so do you, where is your appetite for, like, how sensitive are you on it? Do you push things into the yellow because it's 6 months out, but it needs to be addressed before they probably would come back anyway?
No, I'm not pushy like that whatsoever. No. Our main goal is to address the customer's concern first. So if they're here for brakes, we will let them know that their headlights out. We will let them know that there's a coolant hose seeping. But I am not a high pressure sales. They're here to get their brakes fixed. I will give them a quote, but I'm not pushing them into a repair that they're not prepared for. Right.
I get that. And how do you present that to them? Just here's the quote. So we handled your brakes. That's, $1,100.
So typically what I would do is we'll do our inspection and I'll submit our inspection findings to them through their phone or email. Then I'll give them about 10 minutes to kind of digest it. And then I haven't heard, they're able to approve and decline repairs through the TechMetric app. So if they're looking at it, they haven't done anything yet, I'll call them, and if they need additional clarification of why I'm suggesting these things, or what is this part? Is a control arm? I don't know what that is. Can you explain that to me? We need to make those phone calls to address that.
Okay. All right. So you're not necessarily, are you quoting everything? Are you doing the whole inspect everything, quote everything, present everything, or are you more laid back than that? I'm hearing that I feel like you're more laid back is what I'm
more laid back. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I will let people know of everything that is going on, but I may not estimate everything that I'm not going to estimate something that they don't have to deal with for a year.
Yeah.
You know,
Got it.
if their tires are at 530 seconds, I'm not getting the quote on tires.
Right.
I'm letting them know you're tired for 530 seconds. Let's evaluate when we see you again in 6 months. See where you're at.
Yep.
I'm not presenting quotes on every single thing we see.
Fair enough. Okay, so are you even measuring how much you're presenting versus, or some shops, they pay close attention to their closing rates, right? And their percentages.
Yeah.
Are you not paying attention to those things, or you are?
Oh no, I'm aware of our declined rates. Yeah.
Okay.
So but
How close are your
I try
decline
to
rates compared to your
minimize.
brother's?
No, ours are probably very similar. I am not typically presenting a quote for those tires that are not worn out, so that wouldn't show up as decline, because I'm not trying to sell that. I'm letting them know, and I think that's why we are successful and we are busy, and people keep coming back to us. Is I want them to come back. I don't need them here just for one visit to get every penny out of them while they're here, and then hope they come back. I'm here to help them out and make sure they're safe, address their concerns, and here's where we might be doing this in the future. And that, I do believe, sets us apart from a lot of other places. I don't need to give somebody a $14,000 quote when they might only need $2,000 for repairs or $500 repairs. Not everybody
All
needs
right.
shock absorbers at 100,000 miles.
Yeah. No, I understand. So I'm just thinking about that. I'm thinking about how, and I'm not going to ask you to call out your competitors' names, but you probably know of a competitor that's local to you that is pushing everything. And and do you hear about those from new customers? Well, I was there and they tried to sell me, all of this.
That's my best customers. Anybody that goes to the dealership and gets giant Ester from them, they can go anywhere else and they're cheaper. There are a couple local franchises that do stuff that the dealers don't even do. And I get more business from that, from their business practice than anything else. So
Right. Now, what about other local independents? Are there any other local independents that are trying to follow the line of the dealer and the franchise by quoting and pushing everything? And then you get customers from those groups as well?
Do.
Okay.
Yeah. I think people are fairly loyal. And if they find somebody that treats them well, they're going to stick with them. And so I do get customers from other shops that are just super disappointed. They've been let down. They've been oversold stuff. And just takes one or two times for those people to leave those other shops and find somebody else. And we all know how hard it is to get a new customer and the cost involved in doing that. So I do value the ones that I have and don't want to lose them because I am being overly pushy, aggressive, and just, the stigma that goes with all mechanics. They all think that we're not honest. So the digital pictures and video inspections create extreme transparency. And I'm not trying to just blow people out with massive estimates of stuff that they're not here for.
Yeah.
Nobody likes being oversold stuff. Nobody.
Do you have any data? Are you familiar with your data on the percent of customers that leave you on an annual basis? Like just whether they're moving, buying a car?
Not that I keep track of. People will tell me, hey, this is my last time. I'm moving across the country. I get that.
Right.
Can you hey, I'm leaving. Do everything you can in my car before I go.
Yeah.
I get that.
Okay. All right.
I want new brakes. I don't care if they're worn out. I want new brakes and I want you to do new tires and replace my belt.
Now, I think California, a lot of people are flocking to California. So do you get a lot of customers from, I'm sorry, that was sarcasm. You go ahead.
No, we do. We have a lot of transplants from Texas, Idaho, Ohio.
People coming,
Oregon.
recent transplants that are coming in. That's awesome. Okay.
A lot of customers that leave. They're thinking that things are cheaper in other states, and then they come back.
Okay.
Absolutely. Right. And they never come back. So I don't actually keep track of that statistic though.
What about reviews? Are you heavily are you asking everybody for a review?
Every new customer is getting a request for a review. Our existing customers have already been tapped for a Google review, a Facebook review, and a Yelp review. So they won't get requested again unless they haven't left one.
So you are keeping track of that. Once they leave one, you're earmarking that person as not getting any more. But until they leave one, you keep sending it to them.
It's the software that we use will do that. I'm not physically keeping track of that.
And what software are you using for that?
There's a company here local in California called Broadly.
Okay.
They are just tied into our point of sale system. Yep. They will send out a follow-up message request and review.
Right. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's working.
It's great.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I have gotten customers 200 miles away because they've seen our reviews.
Okay. All right. That is, it's working. Yeah. So I actually, with my previous shop that I used, they would send, every time you went, they would send a request for a review. And I left you one 2 years ago. What are you doing? Why are you still asking me? So I appreciate that you actually have it in place that, if they've been asked, if they've left a review, stop asking, right? Because you don't want it to go from 5 to 4. Let's let it be. Now, are you responding to each one of those reviews? What's that?
No, I'm not. I'm not. I don't typically respond to them. If they're what's great about this software is it does, if somebody is having an issue before reviews left, it intercepts it and lets me attempt to address it. So those will get addressed. But the had a great experience. These guys are great. I'm not actively on there responding to that stuff.
Okay.
Probably should be, but not doing it.
And the reason you should be is because Google sees that as new content and engagement content. It says that, hey, your profile is active and you are actively managing it. And so you're going to show up more often if you're doing those things. So if you're listening in and you're like, hey, I don't do that either, start, all right? Because it will help you. And it doesn't hurt. Even if you're not trying to massively grow, it's going to help get more of those distance customers potentially, or even the closer ones. So anyway, all right, so good. And how long have you been using that system? 1 year, 2 years, since as long as you can remember?
That almost day one of opening here.
Okay.
So right out the gates, we started using it.
Okay. All right. All right. So you're not physically asking them, you're relying on the system to do it. But you're happy with the flow of reviews? Because one of the things that we're looking at when we look at digital marketing is how consistent are the reviews coming through? Is it 1 per week? Is it 10 per week?
I think things have kind of tapered off a little bit in terms of review collection. I still get notified when I get a Carfax review or a Google review. I get several a week, but not
nice.
We were getting 40, 50 a week.
Well, it's like you said, the brand new customers are the ones that are getting tapped, right? Getting asked. And if they've already left one, you're not asking them. So you're asking fewer as a result because you've got the returning customer base. Okay. So what do you see? What are your thoughts on, or what do you see next in this industry? How do you see this industry changing? I've had shop owners tell me that They think it's all going to go to autonomous vehicles, and that nobody's going to even own a car. There's going to, do a ride share whenever they want one. And I'm scratching my head on that one. That doesn't sound like something I'm interested in being a part of. But what are your thoughts on where this industry is going?
I think that is in our future, but that's going to be after my time.
Yeah. Things are changing fast, though,
Yeah.
right? I mean, who would have thought that AI is what it is today just 3 years ago?
I think everybody needs to be preparing and adapting to handling EVs at this point. If you're not ready to take those on for just even the most basic inspections, you're at a big disadvantage. So one of the main motivations for our expansion to our last building was I needed larger, clean space to handle bringing in EVs, doing alignments. I'm not doing ADAS stuff yet. We do a lot of work for body shops, final work. So doing the alignments, doing any major repairs they can't do. They don't want to do subframes. They don't want to do major suspension stuff. But that was part of us expanding, was to be able to handle the increased load from body shops and be prepared for doing stuff on Teslas. My front lanes were not ready to be able to take on something like that. It's a very open air shop. So I got doors on both sides, a lot of ventilation. It just wasn't really suited for that. So we needed to make an expansion, be able to handle that. As cars have changed, just handle different cars.
Right. All right. So what percent of your business are EVs now?
Well, they don't need a lot of work. So we see it's probably 1%, and it's just doing probably every 6-month inspections, rotating tires, checking the 3 fluids, checking their 12-volt battery, checking their filters, and that's it. I think we just did our first brake job on a Model S Tesla, but he had 120,000 miles. So they're not getting the same maintenance as regular cars. There's not. So, but I didn't want to isolate the customer or go in other places. They were already my customer. I need to be able to accommodate their life changes.
Okay. So that third building doesn't get a lot of use, or you're doubling the use on it with other things.
My guys will do all kinds of other stuff in there. I mean, right now they're putting a differential in a F-150. So that will do everything in there. But that space is more suited for doing those type of vehicles. I moved my alignment rack out there. We got that, the Hunter damage camera, alignment checker, the drive-through quick check. So that's back there. So I need space for that. And it's been great having the extra space.
Do you think you'll actually add ADAS in the near future? I mean, what I heard you say was you already have the attention of a lot of body shops in the area.
We do. And the only pushback I've seen from them specifically is they like going to the dealership still for the ADAS recalibration to basically alleviate any responsibility of any issues. So they don't want to be responsible if there's any problems with the ADAS system. Liability gets pushed off on the dealer, and they're like, we're just going to be keeping going to the dealers. So I couldn't justify the expense of purchasing that without some sort of, I don't want to say promise, but knowing that I'm getting cars that are here to do that.
Yeah. Well, you would have to be cheaper than the dealer, which wouldn't be very difficult to do, but you would also need to be that liability. Like that you got to provide them with the paperwork proving, so that they could pass it to the customer, proving that it passed and all the calibrations are set. Here's the proof, right? Here's the paperwork to show for it. There's a certification. So, so do you think that they would make the jump if you were that much less? Or maybe it doesn't matter to them because they're just passing the cost anyway.
They're ultimately, insurance is paying for these things. State Farm is paying it. The body shops aren't carrying. And the the dealers are like, sure, we'll continue to do this. Um, it may be something we do in the future. I just don't, I haven't seen enough requesting of that to make that investment yet.
What about you? How often are you coming across minor repairs? At times you have to take the bumper off to get to the headlights or get to the taillights, right? Or how often are you actually having to be aware or consider whether it's a suspension change or whatnot, that you need to be paying attention to the calibration to make sure that it's still working? How often are you sending it to the dealer?
Very rarely. The only ones that
Okay.
we would send out are specifically like Hondas. Most of these ATIS, a lot of it's now through the windshield. There's the proximity sensors in the bumpers, but those don't really get affected by removing the bumper and putting it back on. But any type of radar systems that are disturbed, those are going to require recalibration. But even then, the sonars in a Prius or a Honda, those are not often disturbed when doing normal maintenance. Now, if there's some sort of reason for us having to remove it, then I will sublet out that calibration we've done.
Okay. How are you determining whether or not it's worth recalibrating or not? Like it's just based on what you're being like that make and model that year. We're not taking any chances. We're sending it. Or is it just a matter of, I think we moved this, so now we need to send it over? Who's
If we
making the
disturb it,
determination car by car, and how are you making that determination?
I think it would just, I mean, it's going to be me and my brother making that determination. If we have touched this component, if it's not in the same place, and it's unlikely to be in the exact same place if we've disturbed it, it's going to need to be recalibrated. If I'm doing alignment on a Subaru and it's got the cameras in the windshield, I'm not disturbing that system. I don't need to mess with it.
Understood. Okay. All right. And you said you and your brother are making that determination on, as you're handling each car. What's the workflow look like? It's just whoever picks up the phone. Okay, now you've got this order, or like, how are you guys splitting? Whoever's available next? It just handles the next ticket, or
No, we don't.
How are you splitting that up?
Do next one up. We are whoever's in the office at that point is helping that customer walking in. They're not my customer. They're not his customer. They're our customers. So they know us. They don't need to talk to me. They don't need to talk to him. They might prefer talking to one of us, and in that situation, we'll grab the other one. But no, we're not competing with each other for
Okay.
work.
Nice. Okay. What else? You said it's you and your brother. It's a 50-50 split. Like, how else do you what other aspects of that family dynamic come into play when you're talking about adding the third building, for example? Like, how did one of you said this needs to happen and the other one was like fighting back, resisting? Like, how do those conversations
No,
look?
resistance, but I'm the older brother, and often
what you say goes.
Our relationship. Not
Okay.
not when I say go. We discuss everything, but
Good.
I might have a little more influence in terms of business decisions regarding that kind of stuff. But I won't do anything without his full support.
Are you both looking at the P&Ls like monthly, or what's the from the business financials? Like, what do you guys? How does that break down?
That's more stuff I do and then relate it out.
Okay.
Yeah. So I handle more of the back office stuff.
Okay.
Just
do you like that work, or do you hate it? The back office stuff.
No.
Okay. All right. No, there are people that like it. I don't know.
No. Way more things I'd rather be doing.
Okay. Like dealing with the angry customer or whatnot would be better than this.
just talking to the guys, making sure they're working efficiently. If I'm having to sit back here and be paying bills, other things are likely being slightly, ignored. We might need to order a valve cover gasket, and they're waiting for me to be freed up to do it. So things like that, back office stuff is always a disruption.
How are you with your employees? Do you actually? So there are some shops where they have regular coaching meetings with their employees, where they're actually talking to each one about their own personal goals and how they can actually develop them along the way, and how they can actually be part of the family that they've created here at the shop. What is your relationship like with your employees?
I have a great relationship with them.
Mm.
I have 4 employees that have been with me 15 plus years. I've got some younger kids because they're just younger. This is their first job out of tech school, so they're new. But all my guys have been with me a very, very long time. I do, so we talked about healthcare. I also provide a retirement plan for them. And we will hang out. We'll go golfing. We'll socialize. We'll go to do some go-kart racing. So we're also friends, but there has been as I've gotten older, it's more of a separation where I'm becoming more of a boss and less of a friend. But
Yeah,
I think that just happened with time.
it can. So I'm kind of curious about like the golfing and the go-karting. Is it just a casual, hey, Tom, let's go do this? Or is it, hey, we're going to go do this, everybody, and you're required to be there?
It's, hey, we're going to go do this, everybody. You're not required to be there. I'd like to have
Okay.
you.
All right. And do most of them show up, or is
We'll
it
avoid.
okay? Nice. And how often do you do that? Is it once a month? Is it once a quarter?
No. Maybe twice a year. It's not.
Twice a year.
Yeah, all my guys
Okay.
have families and work hard, and we spend so much time together as it is. When we're done
Right.
here, they want to go home with their family. So do I.
Yep. Do you actually have individual meetings with them as far as how things are going, like a employee review?
One-on-one, I will have chats with them daily of how
Sure.
they're doing. You know,
Okay.
tell them good when they're doing great. If they're doing something weird, we might have a slight correction. But that's just a daily occurrence of just supervising.
Yeah.
In terms of,
But what about right?
yeah, sit down like one-on-one. What do I expect from you? That would be more annually.
Okay. All right. And do you actually stick to that? It's actually okay. It's review time. Like check your calendar, check your watch. Okay, it's review
Not
time.
that it's spelled like that. No. It'll be us jointly. Hey, we haven't sat down and talked for a year.
Okay.
But
Are you certain that it's actually happening? Because I mean, with some of those guys that have been with you for 15 years, I bet you there's been a couple times where it went 2 or 3 years before it happened again. I mean, if you're not regimented, it can easily go that way.
I mean, it would. I don't think it's perceived like that because I am actively doing stuff with them on a daily basis. It's not like they don't see me. So we are working together. We're doing diagnostics together. We are, I don't want to say we're like, I don't want to sound cheesy, but like a family, but we do work really good together. We have a good team, good crew. We don't have anybody disrupting that flow at the moment. And we've had those over the years, but right now I have a really solid group of guys. And in terms of regular meetings, because I'm with them all the time, there's not this, I need to have a meeting with him because I haven't seen him in 6 months or haven't had to talk to him in 6 months. I mean, we talk daily.
Okay.
So I think it just sets a different dynamic.
Are you guys salary, flat rate? Like, how are you guys compensated? How did you come up with a plan?
They get their hourly with the productivity bonus.
Okay.
So,
and how's that productivity bonus measured, or is it however the shop is doing, or is it how they're doing?
No, it's based on how they're doing. So, based on what their salary is, each one has their own agreed upon bonus rate. because they're all getting paid. They're all getting paid slightly differently because they're different skill levels. And we calculate it similar to the flat rate pay. So it's based on hours billed, but they're all guaranteed. They're all paid hourly with the, I guess, incentivization. They can make more money by being more productive.
Sure. And it's based on the number of hours billed. And how often does that payout happen? Weekly, quarterly?
Every paycheck. So I do biweekly pay. So every other week you're getting a paycheck. So I don't, what I do, because I know they can have a bad week and a good week. I do calculate it weekly. So if they have if they have a, not necessarily slow week, but a major job that holds over to the second week, I don't do it based on 80 hours of work. I do it on a 40-hour work week. So I'm not penalizing them because the job didn't bill out in that week period.
Okay.
You know, I'm making
Have you
sure.
always done it this way, or is this an evolved plan?
We attempted flat rate, but it was just really, really bad for the culture in the shop. I mean, these guys were not getting along. They weren't working together. And it just wasn't a good environment for anybody or me. It's a lot of hostility. That's my job. The way we have it now, everybody works together. Anybody needs help, they can grab one of their coworkers and they'll jump in and help them. And it just creates a better overall day for all of us.
Because they're jumping in and helping them because it's not going to actually, it's not significant enough. The time spent to jump in and help is not significant enough that it's going to damage their productivity.
Correct. I do have a shop foreman who is my guy to jump in and do the major disruptive help. So this bolt just broke off. I don't know how to get this out. He jumps in and extracts it. And he's paid differently than the rest of the guys because he is the guy to do that.
Sure. Okay. How bad was it before you switched from flat rate to what you have now? How many employees did you lose?
I didn't lose any, but the guys that are here did not like each other back then.
But now they like each other.
Yeah.
Let's talk about those four that have been with you for 15 years. They experienced the flat rate at one point, right?
They did. They hated it.
And they were competitive with each other in a bad way. And now they're all friends. So I'm just curious how that transition looked.
Well, they liked each other personally before. So there was never like, hate this person, but I don't like working with this person when, I have one guy that was, highly productive. He would grab, and this was, we kind of had a different, operation where the work would just be hung out. The guys would grab their work, what they knew they could do. The work's now just assigned to every tech who I know their skills, their abilities. So I'm not giving a guy that does brakes all day long a check engine light diagnostic. It's just not happening. So work is assigned to the technicians that are qualified to do it. And so
do they ever get pushed back on? I'm sorry, go ahead. The flat rate model, go ahead.
It just didn't work because cars have changed so much over the years. We used to know they've just become more complicated and not everybody's suited for that kind of work. But I have guys that are great at doing R&R stuff and I have guys that are great at doing diagnostic stuff. And I want to make sure that I'm giving them work that they're best suited for.
Have you ever had an employee tell you, hey, I'm not getting enough opportunity to meet my productivity goals, my productivity bonuses?
Occasionally, but no, not enough work. It's that this job is way too difficult. I can't get this done in the time that it calls for. Pulling cylinder head off of a Nissan 3.5 that requires everything to come out of the car. There's just no quick way of getting a job like that done. You're waiting for silicone to cure, and there's things like that. So
right. Okay. All right. Do you guys charge shop supply fees?
we cannot do that in California.
Not allowed to do that. Okay. So it is so if you use just like a little bit of silicone, right, or silicone, or whatever, maybe it's a grease that you're applying, how do you bill for that particular job?
The grease and part cleaner.
Like you're not using an entire tube, right?
No, that's just a cost of doing business. If
Okay.
I am resealing an oil pan or a timing cover, because we're now using factory silicones on these things. We're not just doing the right stuff.
Right.
I purchased that silicone for that timing cover. It is invoiced to the customer. That tube.
Even if you don't use the whole tube?
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not really reusable in those tubes anymore. I mean, once you crack it open, it's pretty much done. They're putting the
right. I understand
everything out of them. Now, if I'm using silicone to put on a valve cover where you put it on the corners of the valve cover, I'm not charging for that.
Okay.
It's just part of doing
just on the cost.
Job. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess what I'm about to ask is what things in your shop dynamic you would be interested in hearing how other shops are handling it. So when you're thinking about your shop and how you could improve the process or how you're interacting with people, whatever, I don't know, what topic or aspect of the shop would you be curious to hear what other shop owners across the country are doing?
I would say the one thing that I think is a major challenge for any service advisor or shop owner is the miscellaneous parts that are needed for a job that are not known upon initial estimate of the job. So I'm going to need cotter pins. These are single-use bolts. If, we know single-use bolts on cylinder head jobs, but, a lot of these manufacturers, Nissan and Ford, they want bolts replaced on every job at this point. It's just part of their business practice. You take a bolt off, you don't put it back in there. I think all of our automotive software is lacking in the little miscellaneous things that are needed. So when bidding a timing cover job, we can all best guess every gasket that we'll need, but there's always going to be something that's missing. We're all going to miss something. It's just, unless we've done the job over and over and over again. But you get a new vehicle and you don't know every single part you're going to need to complete the job. You have a good idea, but I think all of our labor guides and shop software is missing, I guess, a part list for that job. It's a huge problem in this industry. And even the dealers, you can call and say, I need everything to do this turbo replacement. And they'll send you everything they think you need, but you're going to encounter, I didn't get this washer. I didn't get this hose that is not going to be reusable. And it is quite frustrating. I just did a survey I think it was from Motorcraft, saying, what items would you like to be put together in a package? We all need, when we do a thermostat, we need a thermostat gasket, yet they don't sell them together. But if you don't order it together, you'll get a thermostat without a thermostat gasket, which is just crazy to me. Those things should always be sold together. And I think that I'm curious, I guess, how other shops would handle those little miscellaneous items, because most of the time I just eat them. I'm not calling the customer and saying, I need $15 more for these parts. I just take it. I know I need it. I've already bidded the job. It's been authorized at this price. This additional things is all me. It's not the customer's fault that I didn't tell them. So curious how other shops are handling those little miscellaneous required items. Are they calling customers back and up for $15 more, or are they doing the same thing as me?
And I wonder if that conversation needs to be had, like, so we have these monthly panels, right, that you're aware of. And what we do is we bring on 3 different shop owners from across the country. And I'm wondering if I wonder how many shops would just say, I just throw that in, I just increase my shop supply fees and it covers it, which you can't do. So I'm wondering if that conversation needs to be had with 3 shop owners in California or not. I don't, you tell me. What do you think? Is it a good idea to try to, what's that?
It would be very interesting to do that. Yeah, that's a great idea. It's a great topic. I think there are some shops that do it, and there's some that just do what I do. I've given the estimate. This customer's prepared for this price. We all live on budgets. We know how much we got to spend on gas and groceries, and car repairs. Nobody's ever prepared for, ever. It's something that nobody budgets for. So it's
I wonder what percent. I mean, you've got such a great relationship with your customers. I wonder if you could just increase every single job automatically out of the gate by $50. And then when you didn't have those extra bolts, lowered the price by $50.
We will do that.
No one's ever going to be upset about it being $50 cheaper.
Yeah. So in situations where we're doing a motor replacement, we will add in, hey, I'm giving you, this estimate includes an additional $500 in incidental stuff I don't know if I'm going to need.
Right.
And they are cool with that. I think that is only really effective for me for large powertrain jobs.
Larger jobs. Okay.
Large jobs. Now,
that makes sense.
The
thermostat was a good example. It's a smaller job, right? It's an easy. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. Or I get it. So say the thermostat, and
right.
We also needed this O-ring for the thermostat housing that we didn't know was going to come off to do the thermostat. I'm not going to call them back $2 O-ring. I will typically just eat that additional O-ring. So,
yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's good feedback because we're always looking for new fun topics for the panels that we do.
Yeah. I think that's a good one because I think everybody does have a business practice when it comes to that, and I'm only aware of mine.
Right. Okay. All right. So
the dealer does not give away anything. That cotter pin is on the work order.
Right. And so if they're at the dealer, they're getting the surprise extra $15, $50, $45 or whatever it might be, $150 extra based on those miscellaneous incidentals.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, good. That's good feedback. I'll have to keep that idea on the radar. So thank you for being a part of this podcast. I've appreciated chatting with you and learning about your shop there. And I don't know. It's been a little. I don't want to. It's so easy for me just to go marathon on us and just keep talking because I enjoy it. But I know that you. Yeah, we got to stop it off somewhere. So maybe we'll stop it by just saying, what's your handicap? We said you've golfed. Do you go more than once a year, twice a year? And so you're.
I'm not like that. We go for fun.
Okay.
And
all right.
If we're doing best ball.
All right.
Yeah.
That's fine. Is it a year-round thing in where you're at in Sacramento?
We could golf year-round here. Yeah.
Okay. That must be nice. I might need to move. I'm not sure. I like snow, so that probably wouldn't work out. But anyway, all right. Well, so again, thank you for being a part of the podcast. I appreciate you and your time. I appreciate learning about the shop there. I love hearing stories about family. This whole industry is. So many shops are family-oriented shops, right? even the ones that aren't actual blood. It's a scenario or genetic relationship. It's a scenario where they have family-like experiences. And so it's a lot of fun for me to talk to everybody here. So, um, if you're listening in and you're thinking that you've got a story like Renton's, or maybe it's massively different, but it still is a family story, I'd love to hear it. And so I want you to go out to addy.me/join panel and see if we can get you hooked up with an episode of the Garage Grit podcast. And that was addi.me/join panel. And that's where you can kind of fill out your information. We'll do some research on you. We'll have a conversation with you beforehand, and then we'll get you scheduled either for a panel or for a one-on-one interview, just like we've had with Renton here. And as you already also know, the podcast is brought to you in full by AA Shop Marketing, a digital marketing company specifically for repair shops. We're not a coaching company, even though the Garage Grit podcast is always talking about topics related to how to run your shop, like how to handle the incidentals that we might be having as a panel in the future. We're actually just focused on digital marketing for repair shops, setting you up so you have the clicks and the calls that you can convert into customers. And so with that, we'll do a wrap. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts to make sure that you're getting all these episodes that we're dropping right now. We're dropping about 2 episodes a week. So pay attention, listen to what other shop owners are having to say, and improve your shop for yourself. Thanks again, Renton, and everyone listening. Thank you.